I wouldn't call myself a nationalistic person, but I'm a pretty patriotic Indian. And so, I recognize historically we have so much. We're the richest country in the world, in my opinion, in terms of what we've done, what we've brought to the world. And yes, over the last 1,000 years, we've been conquered left, right, and center by all the different civilizations. And I kind of just feel like it's so important for India to truly rise in a much bigger way than just.
Yeah, it won't unless it plays the long game with sense of purpose. So let me go back to Sith and Robinson, right? Mughal Raj was absolute in India in 1699. Aurangzeb was ruling India. I mean, he was out fighting Shivaji. Afghans ruled. Afghanistan was part of Mughal Empire, right? And so here they had Afghan rulers everywhere in India. Sikhs were a very small part of Punjab. They were peasants. By 1699, when he made Khalsa, they were still small number. By the end of 17th century, 18th century, I'm saying by the end of 18th century, Maharaja Ranjit Singh was ruling Punjab from Lahore, and by 1810 he had expelled Afghans from all over Punjab, took over Kashmir, took over in the line called Durand line between Pakistan and Afghanistan was driven by Maharaja, made by Maharaja Ranjit Singh. He took the India to the other side of the Tiber Pass. So small population, no more than 6, 7, 8% of that area fought and expelled all the Afghans out of India, took over all of Punjab, then so but but Sikhs played a long game. Guru Gobind Singh's edict was Raj Karera Khalsa. That was became part of the Sikh Ardas, Raj Karera Khalsa. This is when they were nobody. But he told them, you are going to rule this land. So I'm saying there has to be a sense of purpose, there has to be a sense of unity. And by the way, Sikhs ruled Punjab without ever having a fight with Muslims.
Very interesting.
They never fought with Muslims at all. Guru Nanak's message, Awwal Allah Noor Paya. Kudrat ke sab bande, eight noor se sab jano pajya kaun pale or bande. So he's telling everybody from the same light we all produce. God made us all equal. Who should say who's better than others? So his position was we are fighting Afghans. We are not fighting Muslims. Maharaja Ranjit Singh had a Muslim regiments fighting Afghans under him.
Oh wow!
So so when you come back to what you see right now, we have 200 million Muslims in India. They've been there 1,000 years. You can spend all your energy fighting them, or you throw up them. So being nationalist doesn't mean being foolish. For us to, we have to get all our vectors lined up, right? All our vectors lined up. We are smart people. We are very well endowed land. But if we start to waste our energy fighting internally, which we did, and the British took over, I'm saying, so we can be proud and chauvinistic, but we have to acknowledge the history and reality. Now, so my basic sense is the Indians will do very, very well eventually. And I thought we were on our way. I saw Bajpayee. Bajpayee was very good. He went to Lahore. But I see Modi. Maybe lately, he's becoming a little bit more mellow. Maybe challenge pressure is becoming unbearable. There's no reason whatsoever to have a fight between Indians and Pakistanis. But by the way, are you a part of the India-Pakistan heritage group on internet?
I'm not, but my wife's family is Pakistani.
You should. There are two groups. There's the India-Pakistan heritage group and Punjab heritage group.
Okay.
I'll tell you, it's amazing how the sentiments are on both sides. I mean, in people. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. You know, I have been to Pakistan several times, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah, Pakistan. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been to Pakistan several times. I've been to. Yeah. I have had. Yeah. Yeah. Lunch with General Musharraf.
oh,
Yeah. 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 But I'll tell you, the, there is a thin layer in Punjab, I mean Pakistan. And by the way, these were not Punjabis. These were not what would so when you look at the Pakistan movement, right? Where did Pakistan movement come from? It wasn't a movement in Punjab. It wasn't a movement in Northwest Frontier. It wasn't a movement in Sindh. Yeah, they never asked of Pakistan. Pakistan movement started in Bihar and UP and Gujarat.
wow.
These guys went over there. They imposed Urdu, and they took over, right? And those are the guys who were driving, Pakistan. So when these Punjabis say, why did we end up losing? Why did we end up having division? We weren't asking for all this. That's one of the debates that takes place. And so when you look at the whole thing, I think they're being. I'm not saying that India and Pakistan should unite. That's a done deal. There's no reason to be enemies and pinning each other down. Free border, free trade, go back and forth. This was one country for a long time, right? Same people, same food, same. You go to Lahore, you cannot tell that you are not in Delhi.
Right.
So when I look at the whole thing, I look at this thing for India to become attain its potential. It needs to become very aware of its history and why did British were able to take over. Such a small number of Englishmen, why were they able to take over? Because of the internal divisions. Because there was no way the British would have been able to take over Punjab. Punjab army was stronger and bigger and had more guns, except the British were able to use Dodras, who were the prime minister of Punjab, to bribe him to sabotage from inside, right? We go back to Battle of Plassey. Battle of Plassey, 40,000 army of Sirajudollah lost to a 300 people army of Clive. 300 people.
Yeah.
So when you look at that, why did that happen? So when you go back and look at the history of it was very clear. It was. I use the word divide and rule in a more profound way than. They were able to balance. They saw the divisions, they saw the contradictions. And they were able to balance. And both sides were friends with them, but they were enemy with each other, right? So coming back to U.S., India, Japan, Australia, that's a alliance of necessity. That's an alliance of necessity for India. I mean, China cannot take over India because India has nuclear bombs, but they can keep India pinned down, poor by using Pakistan, using some of the needling here and there.